Look, it's Ralph.
Hey, Ralph, live from New York. All right, and so folks are just starting to join, so welcome to everyone who's logging on. And we're going to start out by dropping into a period of practice as folks trickle in. Hello and welcome. So let's begin with straightening up and settling in. Advice we can all appreciate from our friend Shinzen. Beginning with a period of practice, bringing attention to the breath. Finding the breath. Letting everything other than the sensations of the breath come and go as it does in the background. Maybe there's a lot going on. That's okay. Finding this breath. Finding the breath, coming to the breath. Each moment with the breath. An ongoing relationship with your breath right here, right now, and welcome everyone. We're meditating on the sensations of the breath. Being with the breath and allowing whatever else is there to just be in the background, doing its own thing. Keeping the attention with the breath. The simplicity of the breath. The groundedness of the breath. Moment by moment awareness, aliveness with the breath, of the breath. Feeling into it. Allowing each breath to come and go. And giving everything else permission to just be in the background as you abide in sensations of the breath. We're all here breathing. There's a unity in that with the breath together. And we accept everything that's happening and allow it kindly as we bring our attention and settle into and open to the breath. This breath is a living experience. Whatever it's like, it's alive. Be alive in this moment with this breath. And then the next moment and the next breath. Directly investigating, what is this breath? What is this breath like? Bringing curiosity. And if it's available for you, can you tap into a connection with others who are breathing? The trees that breathe with us. The oxygen that permeates the room we're in. Coming and going, joining and leaving our bodies. Dancing together harmoniously. The same air all over the whole planet. Whole sky. And simply in this breath, nothing more, nothing less. a unity in the direct experience of this moment, this breath, this sensation. And whatever is there is perfect. This breath goes beyond our ideas of how it should be. We can find trust and grounding in the direct experience. Not some idea about it, but an exploration right here, right now. And explore, where does this breath begin? Where do I end? Where does this breath begin and end? As the oxygen flows throughout all the blood vessels, enlivening us, energizing us. As you're with the breath, you can explore, even touching into mental images or mental talk with the breath. What is that like? What's alive? Or coming back to the simple, unquestionable truth of this direct experience of the breath. Whatever it is for you in this moment, in this breath, this is aliveness. And anything that's happening, deep concentration or agitation, distraction, all is accepted. We stay with the simple power of the moment and the breath. This willingness to be with what is, as it is. This contains love. When we bring equanimity, we bring love. Allowing each experience to rise, pass, without push or pull. Each breath to come and go. To be here, to be concentrated, to be present is to be alive. To be accepting, to be equanimous, to be willing to be with all parts that exist is loving. We'll continue for a few minutes in silence. Following the breath, loving what arises. In a moment, I'm going to ring a bell. We'll return to the group space. Hello, everyone. Thank you for diving. Hi. Hello. Wow. It's so great to just look out here and see all these wonderful folks. Hi. See everybody. Thank you for joining in that period of practice. Diving right in. Wanted to bring everyone into a shared space as we enter into this time together, this particular way of being, as we're all going through our own screens, and we're all also going through our own experiences. We're all in our own spaces, and yet here we are together. It's a great teaching to see these screens all touching each other, and we're all here interconnected. And we're a group, and we're united. The Buddha spoke of these three wonderful jewels. So there was the Buddha, that is our divine nature and the teacher, and the Dharma, the teachings, the wisdom teachings, and the Sangha. And the Sangha is of great importance. The Sangha is the community. The Sangha is the connected people who are here practicing spirituality and meditating together. And here we are as that. And that is of great importance. And it's such a blessing to be here with you. So this is the Oak Saturday Sit. I am Pan Williams. The name Pan was given to me by Soryu for All about 5 years ago. And I intentionally never asked him to clarify why he chose that name for me. So it's fun because I leave it very open-ended. But my original name is Peter Williams, and I'm especially honored to be joined by my father and my mother on this call, as well as many other wonderful friends and family, and it's a blessing. And it's coming here live from Oak, our modern monastic training center in the Bay Area, bringing wisdom and compassion to those who are creating technology, the future, and artificial intelligence. So it's a blessing to be here in this place of connection, training with everyone together. So during this time, if you need to take care of yourself in any way, getting some water, taking a break, changing position to standing or even laying down, I want to empower you to take care of yourself and really to love yourself in whatever way is needed. These are really challenging times for a lot of people, from what I've found, and myself included. And so being loving towards ourselves is important. And I would invite that into whatever we experience here today together and beyond. But this is a space where you can care for yourself and love yourself just as we love all beings. So on this path, we give our lives to be in connection and service and love of everyone, everywhere. And it's this big, beautiful, also intimidating, whoa, kind of vow that we make on the path of modern monasticism and spiritual practice. And so we must include ourselves as part of everyone, because we wouldn't leave ourselves out. We are no different. We are all part of everyone. So we care about and love everyone, and ourselves, being loving to ourselves. Thank you. And beyond that, we must go beyond our stuck places and our ideas and our systems of pattern habits that have been ingrained, conditioned into us over a long time from all sorts of angles that run very deep into the unconscious mind. And so We have the beautiful benefit of practicing meditation together, which helps us to cut through the places where we are caught in assumptions and we're trapped in these filters that obscure truly seeing reality as it is. This may be called ignorance in Buddhism. And so that is something that I emphasize, because I think there's a lot of people that want to do good out in the world, and there's a lot of good that can be done, but if we miss the piece about doing the inner work, it will not lead, it cannot lead to a good outcome in the end, because whatever we're putting forth into the world is coming from and through where we're at with our own spiritual development. There's a phrase in programming, I think I borrowed this one probably from Joshin, but there's this phrase in programming called, and perhaps other design, production, it's garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out. So the idea is, if you have a formula that's wrong or something, it has some flaw or error in it, or you have a plan and then you follow that plan, you go through that formula and you build the thing, and it's flawed, then it's going to come out wrong. It's going to come out in some way. It's going to be, unwittingly causing some kind of problem. But what we do is we take one step back further and say, actually, why did the plan itself? Well, it came from the mind. Everything's coming from the mind. Mind is chief. The state of the mind is this, meaning the state of where we're at with purification of all of the stuck places, all of these conditioned cycles that we're trapped in. And so we go through the process of meditation to liberate ourselves from all of that, to be freed from all of the baggage that we're carrying around. And in that, there's unlocking of great joy. There's coming closer to our true, benevolent, radiant, divine goodness. That's the Buddha nature. Yes. And unlocking that is a great joy. So thank you for hearing these words. I'd like to now move into the group space and just do some introductions and also some reflections. So what I'd like to welcome is for each person, we'll go around and each person has a chance to, if they'd like, say their name, where they're calling from, and up to 3 sentences of a reflection about either the meditation or maybe the share that I put forth, or anything else you'd like to put into the space. Yeah, up to a few sentences of a share. Okay? Good. So oftentimes we start with the folks here on the who are calling in, and then we end with the modern monastics who are here. But let's switch it up this time. So let's start with Alice, who is part of our full-time residential training program here at Oak, one of our wonderful apprentices. So we'll start with her. Alice, you're going to again share your name, where you're coming from, and up to a few sentences of anything you'd like to reflect on.
Yeah. Hi, I'm an apprentice here, but a few days, just very recently, just happened. I'm now a resident.
Yes, that's right.
And I've been in the Bay Area for more than a decade now. So this feels very, Berkeley feels like home. And a few sentences about practice. Yeah. Just felt like I was, the guidance was very, I appreciated the guidance, and I felt like I dropped in very deep at the end. So felt very calm and very happy to be there. So yeah, I took a little bit of a reminder. Oh wait, the bells have already rung. I should come back now. But this is so nice. Yeah. So that's my experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Guidance.
Wonderful. Okay. We'll now switch it over to Zev.
Hello, my name is Zev. Okay, hold on. One second, we can fix that. How about now? Can you hear me now? Great. My name is Zev. I'm also a resident here at Oak. Let's see, about the meditation and reflection. It's obviously very distracting running the technology while the meditation is going on. But it was actually even more amazing when I was able to fully just notice that my breath was going regardless of whether I was paying attention to the technology or not. And it was that was powerful for me.
All right, thank you. Okay, then can you just call out the names of who will be next to, and you can always pass if you like, and then can you call out the names of who's next to share?
Sure. Let's start with Amy.
Do you need to unmute her?
Hi, Amy. We're going in alphabetical order, it looks like.
Sorry. Yeah. Well, I'm Amy Raby. I'm a recovering medical oncologist here in Kansas City area. And during the breathing, I was kind of recently more reading up on meditating on the breath. It's not a real comfortable technique for me for a while. I get a little uncomfortable after about 5 minutes of focusing on the breath. Usually it gets a little uncomfortable, a little contrived, and a little even shorter breath. But switching it up to allowing the breath to come to me as opposed to following the breath works really well for me. And trying to introduce a little bit of metta element to the breath also seemed to be really helpful for me. So I'm enjoying that more and hoping to use that to strengthen my concentration meditation. So a slight switch from my usual focus on more vipassana type of focus to samatha. So it's been really nice. So that was really timely that you were leading meditating on the breath. So I like that. That's very much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Amy. That's a wonderful report. It's so nice to be here with you.
Let's go to Barb.
Hello, my darling Mew. This is my mother, Barbara Williams, who I love so very much. Is she unmuted? She might be muted.
Yeah, I can't unmute her.
Okay, I wonder, Mew, if you're watching, is there any way you can unmute? She might also not be on the call anymore. We don't know. I can see my dad moving throughout the house, trying to look for her, I think. Okay. Maybe you can, maybe we can do mom and dad together here. Daryl Williams. Let's have Daryl Williams go. Hello. Would you like to share? Okay. Okay. Hello. Can you unmute yourself, Dad? Can you, is there an unmute button available to you on your device, your phone or whatever? We have no audio from you. Well, it's good to see you. Maybe if you can find an unmute button. Great. Nice to have you here. Who's maybe
We could do Daniel first.
Let's do Daniel next.
Peter.
Oh, hey, there we go. Now we have audio. Thank you.
Got it.
Hey, welcome, welcome.
I've never had a better meditation.
Oh, great.
I respond so well to exactly that. I've tried meditation forever. I did transcendental meditation. I had, my mantra, did it a million times. Studied meditation in college, focused on my breathing. Amy, you said that you can last 5 minutes. I can last about 30 seconds. And the thing that made it meaningful was your voice, Peter.
Oh.
And that's really exactly the kind of meditation that works for me. When I've got some kind of guided imagery, it's enough to somehow capture my attention, but not enough to distract me from anything else.
Mm.
So as an individual, I'm very suggestive, and I loved it.
Nice. Ah, that's so good. Thank you,
Was
Fad. That's awesome.
was
Well,
this
this is recorded. We can listen to this. And I intend to keep putting out more recordings. So yeah, we'll have audio that people can then use as follow-up tools if they want to have more of that guidance and have that that voice there for them to keep them centered. Awesome. Thank you, Fad.
Thank you.
Okay. Who's up next?
Should we go back to Barb, or should we?
We'll just move on. We can go on to Daniel Blank. Looks like he's next. Hey, Daniel.
Hello.
Hey.
Daniel. I'm here in Berkeley.
Daniel, your audio seems choppy.
It's a little robotic.
Okay, is this better?
No, but I'm actually okay with it. I kind of, you might be able to fix it, but it sounds kind of like Darth Vader, but maybe more like C-3PO, something.
Is this any better?
No, it's still very robotic and interesting. I say roll with it.
That's strange. Well, anyway, I'm tuning in from Berkeley, and during the practice, allergies got in the way. A stuffy nose makes breathing consistently not that easy. So I took a tiny break to pop an allergy pill.
Okay. Well, it's good to be here with you. Thanks for being in the space. Okay.
Danielle.
Hello. Hi, Danielle. Hi. Hi.
Let's see, a couple observations. Some of the reminders were really great about that we're all breathing the same air. And for a split second, I thought, I'm breathing the same air that someone in Malaysia is breathing right now.
Yes.
And breathing the same air that people who are doing great and people who are suffering are breathing. So that felt very connecting to me. And then the prompt about aliveness, sort of now, I noticed myself sort of searching for certain pockets of space in the meditation, but every time there was the "this is aliveness" type prompt, it's like, oh yeah, it's right there. So just sinking instead of searching.
Thank you so much for sharing. It's really nice to hear and to be with you. I love it so much. There's one thing I'll just throw to the whole group is a lot of this practice of what I'm calling loving aliveness is an exploration for me, and it's experimental. So I encourage you at any time, if something grabs you, if something resonates with you, then you can just do that. Like last time we had one person who, one of the first prompts, he followed all the way through. And that was what he meditated on the whole time, because it would just really resonated with him to drop into the feeling of gravity in the earth. So if there's something that grabs you, you could make an entire meditation sit where you just focus on the connection piece of the breath. How is it that the breath is interconnected? Yeah. So I encourage you to play when you're doing something like this with me. There's room for experimentation from me as like in this space I give you. Okay, who's next?
Let's go to Lynn and Bob Benjamin, who are my parents.
All right. Hi, Lynn and Bob.
Hello.
Hi.
We wanted to thank you for including us and compliment Pan and the group for doing such a fine job, and express that we're very proud of our son Zev for being involved with such a meaningful community. And we're very appreciative to Zev and to his 3 siblings for honoring us on our approaching 50th wedding anniversary tomorrow, and his
Wow.
mother's birthday.
Oh, wow. Congratulations, and so wonderful to have you with us.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure.
And it is an absolute joy to be here with Zev, who is such a wonderful presence here in this community. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for including us.
It's an honor. Okay. Who would we like to speak with next?
Let's go to Margaret.
Yay, Margaret. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
It's so nice to be with all your families. Congratulations, Lynn and Bob. It's nice to hear you talk. I thought I almost heard you say it, that we are all breathing here together, but you didn't say it exactly that way. It was very nice. I've been breathing all day. Well, I've been actually mindfully breathing all day.
Oh,
I
even better.
as well as for survival. I had a difficult week last week, and recently haven't been feeling too well, et cetera, et cetera. And so, but I went on a walk this morning. Pan, you know, I live at the fort. Oh, I'm in Colchester, Vermont. So I live at the fort, and I walk down to St. Mike's on Saturday mornings and back. It's a few miles. And usually I take my headset with me, and it's when I catch up on the talks from the monastic academy.
Oh, great.
So I listen to a walk. I listen to a walk on the way out, and I listen to the meditation on the way back. And in the middle of my walk today, sorry, it's more than 3 sentences. I ran out of, I completely ran out of steam, and I thought, oh, I don't feel very well. And so Soryu in my ear suggested that I would breathe and take my mind off myself. And so I was about halfway home, and had to breathe with some effort, actually. I had to open my mouth to breathe out. But, you know, along the way there, I realized that he said something in the meditation, you know, about coming out of ourselves, and maybe coming more into nature, more natural. And I really just began to really embody some of the energy and clarity of the trees. It's cold and windy here. So the trees and these big gray clouds sweeping along. And I thought, yeah, that's a little bit how I feel. And so I felt actually quite a lot better by the time I got home, except exhausted. So it's been a day for me of mindful breathing for health and well-being. Perfect.
Perfect. Thank you.
Let's go to Pam.
Hi, Pam. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. I'm Pam, and I'm from Los Angeles, and I'm sitting outside in my yard, which I never used to till I started doing these kind of things during the pandemic.
Oh, okay. There's a blessing in disguise.
Oh, there's so many. I have 3 spots in my house now that I like to meditate and contemplate in, and this is the downstairs one, and I've got one indoor upstairs and another outdoor upstairs.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
And I'm kind of confused and upset today, and appreciate myself for keeping my internal commitments. I showed up to something this morning and earlier and now today, and I'll show up to the meditation class I'm going to teach in about 2 hours or 2.5 hours, which I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I feel connected, so I'm sure something will come out. Very happy to be with this group, and I love when we get to share, Pan. Thank you for including it today.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Pam. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that authentic share. And, you know, I can't say it enough that in this practice and as I'm teaching it in Loving Aliveness, there's room for everything. Whatever's happening for you, it's all part of life. We're living and it's happening. So it is life. And so, but what to do with that? And so here we are dancing in that way together. Thank you. Okay.
Let's go to Ralph.
Ralph. Hello, Ralph.
Hey, everyone. Ralph from Brooklyn. Pan, great to see you. It's been years.
Yes, I'm so happy to see you.
Yeah, good to see you as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that was honestly one of the better breath meditations I've ever done.
Wow.
Yeah, similar to what Amy was saying, I just have never really connected with the breath during practice. And I can't say what it was. I look forward to going back to the recording. Your voice certainly had something to do with it. But after 20 years, I finally had a very successful practice around the breath. So thank you.
Fantastic. Wow, that's so exciting to hear, Ralph. And wow, really appreciating being here with you.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Let's go to Renee.
Hello, 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 Mama D.
Hello, I'm Renee. I'm here in Akron, Ohio. I am a member of the Parent of Resident Club. And so I say hello to my fellow members, Benjamins and Williams. Our son is Joshin. So it's lovely to be here with all of you. Alice, congratulations. So happy that you're a resident. That's such a beautiful commitment. I have sat with almost all of you in one form or another, and it's always so beautiful to connect with each of you. And my practice these days is seeing, there's a broad context, but also seeing things that could be enormous as just another life event. And it's really the breath comes, the breath goes, each one is different and they're all the same. So I'm delighted to be here. Love being with all of you.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel that these shares are really actually bringing a lot of wisdom. So I'm really savoring each person's share, and it's meaningful, taking it all in. Okay.
Let's go to Rich.
Hey, Rich.
Hi, everyone. Congratulations, Alice. Wonderful to be here again. Pan, that was sublime and delightful. I usually have a very hard time with the first sit on Saturday afternoon because I usually finish mowing the lawn and I'm ready for a nap. But I infused the breath today with energy. And for the most part, I was able to stay present. And I find your voice very calming and reassuring, and I really appreciate being here. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Rich.
And let's go to Yanir.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Yanir.
Yeah. Hi. I'm like Amy and Ralph. I don't usually connect well with the breath, and I've tried. But yeah, I have to agree with them that there was something different about today, and I was able to get pretty concentrated towards the end. And yeah, I agree. Your voice, I think, had a contributing role to that. So thank you.
That's great to hear, Yanir, and it's really good to be here with you.
Yeah, likewise. And I'm in San Jose.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you all. Yeah. So, yeah, I want to share a little bit about this week that I think will be applicable before we move into more meditation. You know, yeah, I was going through the week and this thing came to me where I was like, I realized I had kind of been waiting for things to go back to normal, maybe the pandemic to end, the crises to be over. And somehow I found that there's a deeper connection to the fact that that's just probably not happening. We're going to have all kinds of unknowns coming up. And we just still have all kinds of big issues in the world and in ourselves. And the way it's been feeling to me is kind of like a slow move on this kind of big world things that are happening. And there's just a lot of that there. And I was in this. And I really want to honor that where people are at with this. And it's not everybody's experience, but my sense is that a lot of people are still have a lot of stuff that's happening for them, challenging situations. So, you know, feeling this, and I ended up finding being in nature to be is an incredible teacher, it's a healer. And I came across these vines crawling their way, a massive swirl of vines crawling their way up a telephone wire. This incredible life force driving these plants upward, moving towards the sun, growing with vitality and strength. And to me, when I see this in nature, it's something that is activating. There's a message in it. And so this shift in perspective, this excitement, I've been inspired, and there's been other sources of inspiration. I want to mention that we have a wonderful friend here, Danielle Strockman, who has been involved with Tealism and the work of Peter Thiel. And there's just a wonderful article put out that she's in that we can share in the notes that really also had a big effect on me in shaking free from limitations. And being here now is one way we do that in meditation. We can get beyond the places where we're stuck and where we're think that things are a certain big way that we've constructed, and we can actually set that aside and just say, whoa, what if we see things clearly? And this has been one of the incredible strengths and gifts that this sort of Tealism has brought forth in many different ways with innovation and leadership. And just felt so excited by that and to have direct contact with that. And I'll share the article. It's really interesting. Another inspiration was, and I hope I'm saying the name correctly, her name is Mina Salami, and she's a Black African leader. She's an eco-poet, and she wrote this article that's on Emerge, which Daniel Thorson, another resident, it's a media source that he puts out. And he's one of the modern monastics at Maple. And she talks about looking through the lens of liberation and collective struggle and these mighty rivers, these primal forces, like the Yangtze River, the Niger River, the Thames River in London, and each one co-creating history, flowing together with human lives as they rise and fall, reflecting what it's like for people. Millions of people wiped out by flooding, for instance, or millions of people sustained in life, and these rich archetypal forces. And this is a view that I encourage people to take on and be in nature, learn from nature, see things in it, be with a tree. It's so funny. There's all these stereotypes of tree hugging and, you know, these hippies, and maybe that's just me. I don't know, but I find it to be so enlivening to sit and be with nature and see its lessons. And it also allows for the contemplative practice. You know, the Buddha recommends a serious practitioner, they go into seclusion, and nature has traditionally been that. You look at the works of say, certain martial arts or in Taoism, these reflecting nature, martial arts poses that are based on watching animals or flowing water that reflect the nature of reality in a deeper sense, an embodied sense. And so we dive into this, and that's where the practice of, you could say, eco-dharma comes in. And it's in this that I see that this to me is really where we start to have hope for, can we turn the whole situation around with the global crises at hand? Can we reconnect? Can we move beyond isolation and being cut off and being adversarial with each other and fighting each other? Can we move into harmony and connection, cooperation, mutual beneficial collaboration? How do we enter into this? Well, we certainly can't do it without being ourselves in a space where we're directly embodying connection. We can find that in nature. We be in nature. And yet we don't have to be actually physically in it. That helps. But we can find that peace in the practice, because dropping into the meditation practice is connecting with nature. It is going beyond ourselves that allows us to open to connection. You can have an idea of connection. You can have even a desire for connection. But as long as you're too caught up in the mind, in your stories, in your patterns, you're not going to be connected. Or you have some degree of connection. And so you deepen that. You move along, purifying each stuck place, each calcified, accumulated, layered on idea, story, letting that go, cutting through that. This is the process of insight. And it's so important. And that's why I really try to almost proselytize that we must go through the process of spiritual development. If you look at Gandhi's teachings, he has this incredible social change idea of satyagraha, which is this sort of spiritual social change. It's like, yes, we're going to take action in the world. It's this compassionate, loving justice. So inspiring. And yet Gandhi talks of this inner work that is like the bottom of an iceberg. And the satyagraha is up at the tip. And there's all this other inner work that he did, and that allowed him to open to his spiritual potential and then rise to leadership. There's a movie called Labyrinth. David Bowie. It was created in the 80s. Jim Henson. It's beloved by many. It's also kind of weird. But it's the first movie that I can ever remember watching. So there I was at Little People Learning Center at the age of, I think, 4.5. And I have this distinct memory of watching this movie. But there's this character in it. His name is Sir Didymus. And he's a puppet who's like a little ankle biter, maybe like a Yorkie poo, a dog. He's a little guy. And he's a knight. He's a hero. And the female lead, Jennifer Connelly, she's the hero. And she meets this knight who pledges his allegiances, but he's lost his sense of smell because he lives in the bog of eternal stench. And so he thinks that everybody is an enemy, and he has no sense of smell, so he's confused. So anybody that comes by, he's like a little ankle-biting dog, and he runs out, and he even bites one of the characters. It's pretty funny. It's a little puppet. And maybe some of you have experienced dogs like this. Somebody's coming to the home. Maybe it's somebody really nice, like a mailman, and yet the dog is trying to be a protector. And it goes forth, this warrior energy. Yeah, gotta get this guy's enemy. That's the mailman. That's the that's the person with a letter. It's okay. Why am I talking about this? It's a process of insight that allows us to be with reality as it actually is, to see clearly. And so to understand the true nature of things and thus to be able to move from that place is necessary for us to take effective action. And so the unpurified mind might be something like Sir Didymus or the Yorkie poos that my parents used to have. Although they were pretty nice, they weren't too aggressive. But they had a lot of love. Sir Didymus had a lot of love, but he didn't have wisdom. So he was biting everybody that came by in an attempt to try and be loving. Now, what if you approached every part of yourself as Sir Didymus? Every part of yourself that you judge, that is a shadow, every part of yourself that causes harm, every part of yourself that you feel judgment or shame or loathing towards. What if you approached it as this is a well-intentioned and love-motivated but misguided, delusioned force or part of myself? What if you approached each person that you met knowing the same? This is someone whose true nature is good deep down in whatever way, but maybe they take misguided actions. You would love them. You would love Sir Didymus. He's doing his best. He's trying to guard the bridge. He's trying, ends up biting everybody. He's still a loving being. He's just misguided. You can't be mad at a little dog. And so this is grace. This is universal love that transcends. And we can find this when we tap into the web of life. When we get beyond the divisions that we carry around in mental constructs, and we directly experience life in a way that opens us to being. Then, when we're out of our own way, when we go beyond ourselves, when we let go, then, miraculously, we opening to connection. That's Om Mani Padme Hum, like we talked about last week. That as we cultivate the wisdom of getting out of our own way, of letting go of all the battles we've been fighting, as we let go, connection flourishes. Goodness blossoms. And so we are the ultimate solution. All these big problems, we are empowered. Our systems are flawed, yes, but our systems are created by us. Our systems are supported by us. Our systems are maintained by us, and we are a product of our state of mind. Or I guess we flow forth from our state of mind. So we can do the inner work, and we do the outer work too, but from a place of practice, of spiritual, contemplative practice. Then we can act directly from the place of connection, from the place of love. Togetherness beyond division, separation, that's what the world calls for. I've recently been interested in a wonderful group called One Nation USA Party. It's a new movement, a political movement. It's meta-modern. It's forward-thinking, fresh, excellent, rooted in spiritual practice, political movement. And so one of the things that they put forth that I found really fascinating was they put forth this suggestion to find wisdom in every political ideology. To really look at even the people that you disagree with or that you just think are wrong, or even the ones that you think are maybe bad, and look at that and say, okay, well, is there something in here? Are you at least willing to look at it and see, is there some positive motivation, or is there something that connects? Now, that's not to in any way, shape, or form justify any sort of belief system or even say one is right or wrong. But can you look at each of them and find goodness and motivation? And so that's the kind of moving beyond that can come when we're willing to connect and get out of our own stuck places. And we make that conscious effort to do so. We can take the action to do so. Charles Eisenstein is an excellent modern writer, thinker, and really beautiful soul. He wrote an article that just came out in May, a follow-up to his excellent piece, The Coronation, about the coronavirus. And it's a fascinating article. It's about conspiracy and the myth of conspiracies, and that conspiracies embody, there's been a rise in conspiracies. Wow, all these conspiracies. And that they embody this lens of interpreting the world, where once you are into the conspiracy, then everything you see through the conspiracy lens. And that's what a myth is. And of course, we have other myths. We have all these myths of our economic system and our political system and our philosophies. But that conspiracies themselves go beyond lone incidents, but they actually form like a worldview. And so there's this danger that when we put everything externalized on someone else, we say, oh, it's this evil cabal, or even beyond that, when we just aren't willing to take responsibility, we say it's this group of people, it's this particular person, and we externalize to that extent, then we're losing the power to know that it's actually within our ability to change, and we can do something now. It's not that the problem is out there. We're part of this whole thing. It's not different from us. It's one big interconnected web. The Lakota phrase, all of us are connected. Indra's net, the Hindu tradition, we're all connected. It's like if you're driving in traffic, you think, oh, I'm in traffic. Traffic is so bad. No, you are traffic. You're a car. This isn't my original material, but it resonates with me. And so this is both a problem and an opportunity. The Soryu, to paraphrase Soryu, who paraphrases the Buddha, our minds are both the biggest problem and our biggest ally, or our biggest avenue for doing something through practice. Yeah. And so as we go beyond, we connect, we are emboldened, enlivened by the righteousness of standing for all life, of being with one who is for all beings. And we're each trying to do that in our own way. And being here, having this conversation, doing these practices, taking this out there is important work. It is powerful work. And so I thank you, I affirm you, I feel incredible gratitude to be allied with you. And I celebrate that. Yeah, I really believe to turn around, to find a way all these institutions are untrustworthy, and it's so to find a way past that, it has to come from a process of the mind. It's the only way that I can see it working. It's more and more when I see the way that our leaders are behaving, when I see the way that as soon as we have a pandemic problem, all of our institutions freak out and crumble, and we're bailing out cruise ships, and it's untrustworthy. Confidence is way down for me. I'm far less interested in participating in the systems that are run by, well, greed, hatred, and delusion, if you want to go from a Buddhist lens. So here we are making something new, or we're becoming and we're affecting things by acting within it. Joanna Macy, a wonderful Buddhist teacher and longtime champion of the earth, talks about different ways of making change. There's taking actions like voting or going to a demonstration. Then there's creating new systems like communities or renewable energy. And then perhaps fundamental is the spiritual process. And the other two depend on that. They're all important. And so by no means am I saying, don't do things in the world. Please do things in the world. And do it from a place of the practice. So I've certainly been talking about practice a lot and the importance of insight and wisdom. And so I encourage us to take the red pill together and practice. That's a reference to the Matrix, which is this, the red pill is this idea of escaping from delusion. There's an excellent article about this by Julian Walker recently. It's actually a very interesting critique of spiritual practice and how some of this red pill terminology has been co-opted. But what I mean by that is, in the Matrix, Neo decides to go beyond all the constructs and things that he takes for granted and all these assumptions and things that comprise the world around him. And in meditation, we're taking that risk. We're going down that rabbit hole. We're willing to actually be with what is and let go. As concentration deepens, let go into reality as we've never been willing to face it before. Just like taking the red pill and getting unplugged in the Matrix. So, thank you for doing that. And it is beautiful. It is rejuvenating. It is enlivening. It is empowering. Stunning energy comes. It seems weird. It seems like hocus pocus or something. But it's just like it's written that your body fills with energy. You come alive. So that's great. And really finding aliveness in anything. Just even if it's uncomfortable. Like, it's intense. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't know what's going on. It's confusing. But you're alive in it. At least you're not tuned out, zoned out, numbed out. And the more you're alive, the more that actually improves your life. And you work through stuff and you take on less stuff. And then eventually it transforms your life. And it does that, and that's a real thing. You know? This brother Gilles was a practitioner, Christian monastic, and he's a super holy, deeply realized being, had this great insight, but he remained unseen for a long time until people just eventually being around him just was like, there's something about this person. He has wisdom. And then eventually he was recognized, and I think even became maybe a saint. I have to check on that. But this is a real thing. This is a real thing that you undergo that transforms you, that then you transform the world. People are affected. So what you do matters. And what you will do will flow from your state of mind. And you can affect your state of mind by meditating. And you can benefit your state of mind through meditation. So it's a pretty good path. It's a pretty good formula. Yeah. Okay. I love talking so much. And now I'd love to meditate with you. Thank you so much for receiving my wisdom and being here. Take a moment to come into awareness of anything that's going on. Anything that you're seeing, hearing, feeling. We'll be exploring the practice of calling in, of nurturing a positive connection, beneficial experience, and calling forth. So bring into your awareness, into your visual, mental space, into your felt experience, maybe into your audio experience, something that you want to call in, like an affirmation of strength or peace. Are there images associated with it? You want to call in more concentration, or do you want to call in more equanimity? And you can say to yourself, calling in strength, calling in peace. Calling in equanimity. And you can also call in images of places, the presence of people who inspire you, seeing them in your mind's eye, feeling them in your felt experience, tapping into the emotion around a particular person, place, animal, a tree. Maybe it's someone you know, or maybe it's a character from a book. You can bring forth, call that forth. And calling in beautiful sunset. Calling in humility. Calling in whatever you need right now, call it in. Seeing, hearing, feeling, building connection. And whatever it is okay. You can explore. calling in the rushing waters. Calling in people who are out there right now working to help those who are sick in the hospitals. Calling in the web of life. Calling in the sun. Bring forth images, hear voices, however it speaks to you, and really feel, be infused with the feeling. And whatever reaction you have to this, that's okay. Call in love, call in compassion. If you find yourself distracted, call in concentration. Say it in your mind, calling in. I'm calling in hope. So I'm calling in surrender. Calling in being okay in this moment with what is. I'm calling in the friendship and the community of everyone here. Opening and connecting. And you might ask yourself, what's calling me in? Is there a voice calling me in? What's it saying? We sit in the stillness and silence and open to our inner voice. What does it say to us? And now, whatever's there, simply allow and experience, noting each felt experience, each instance of inner talk, each image, allowing each of these sensations, immersing in whatever is arising, whatever it is, allowing, opening to awareness now. Everything is welcome, and this welcoming is love. Continue to be in loving aliveness. And for the rest of our time in practice, feel free to use any of the techniques that we've explored today. The loving aliveness of the breath, calling in, or simply allowing for each new sight, sound, and feeling to arise and pass in your awareness. Whichever or whatever else you need, the time is ours together. May it be of benefit to all beings everywhere. Okay. Well, so grateful to have had that period of practice together. So I wanted to just offer something that I've been really inspired by for something different that might help us just kind of shake some things up. One of my lessons that I've been sharing is, getting out of ways of doing things. So, we kind of have a formula for the Saturday sit to some extent. So this time I was I want to shake that up. That's been the theme. That's what I've been learning from the tealism and from these different, people I've been seeing, and these plants yeah, we're going to be alive. And I'm like, yeah, okay. They're not putting up with any, negative things that are holding them back, or just going for it. And so I've been hearing Alice drum recently, and she's just been rocking so hard. It's amazing. And so I want to just to invite her into this space and let her do a little bit of just a few minutes of drumming for y'all to hear and see her energy. And that to me is loving aliveness, So does that sound good to you, Alice? You want to hop in?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, it'll be nice.
We wouldn't know until we find out.
So you can practice here out if you like, or feeling how things are feeling for you as you hear the drumming. What's your experience of the drumming? Or just, have some fun, whatever works. Tap into the drumming.
I'm just testing this out. I haven't drummed from this position before. Here it goes.
Oh yeah. Call it forth.
Okay.
Call it forth.
Wow.
Whatever comes forth is great.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Okay. Yes, I'm so happy that you had that. We had that great gift from you. Yes, so beautiful.
One of my favorite songs, More Non-Verbal from the movie Spirited Away, which is one of my favorite movies. Yeah, I love Miyazaki's vision always includes nature, and his love of nature is infused in pretty much all of his work, and Spirited Away is, yeah, definitely a masterpiece. So thank you so much for letting me for that.
Yes, that was wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, now we have some time to reflect, to share, to ask questions, or to give reports, or whatever else we want to do to discuss. As always, if we just want to do some more meditation and some silence, then we can have that time as well. And we've got about 20 minutes or so to have a conversation. Yeah, so if you're interested, you could raise your hand, I suppose. Anything at all is good. Silence is good.
Okay, sure.
Yes.
Oh, I was just so moved by that meditation. Yeah, just calling in all these energies and memories of people and places I've loved. Oh man, I just felt, yeah, just all this love pouring into me. Like it was overwhelming. Definitely, it was almost overwhelming. Yeah. So, but like, it felt really good to let the walls come down a little bit and let the love just rush in and let it come out of my eyes and just like, yeah, it was definitely felt really like cleansing and felt like remembering.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for reporting that. That's just such a beautiful share. I'm really glad that you're able to benefit in that way. And yeah. Thank you.
I would.
Okay.
I'm very proud of you as my son.
Thank you.
Got to put that out there. Sitting out in the front, Barb, in the sun,
yes,
by the roses, which are blooming gloriously. There's one right there.
Oh, look at that. Can people see?
So, big purple one.
Thank you.
What kind of flowers are those?
Irises. So, yeah, they're most glorious irises we've ever had. And the sun was so hot, I took my shirt off and I just was able to breathe again and was able to let my mind wander. And the only thing that came to me was when you said, whatever you want. And I realized that was just peace of mind. Something my father said to me once, what do we get out of life but a little peace of mind? And with that came the awareness of really being in present time at that moment and following that thread and how precious that is for me.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a continuation of the guided imagery, and I was able just not to think but breathe and feel the sun and the wind and follow your voice, which was very effective.
That's exactly what I'm going for. That's so good. And I love you so much. Thank you. Hello. Thank you. And these are beautiful shares. And I'm so happy and feel so connected to everyone here. I also want to say, if people, reported things were confusing or difficult or anything like that too, that's okay too. Because that's all part of this. Well, it's part of life, as I said earlier. So in this practice, we welcome everything with equanimity. I think I saw Margaret's hand.
And Daniel.
Oh yeah, Margaret and Daniel. Daniel, why don't we go with you?
How does one tell that one isn't garbage anymore, in the sense of garbage in, garbage out? Or does one just try one's best to know that maybe as I meditate, I somehow, though I might not be noticing it as it's so gradual or something, become less garbage, as it were?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think there's this is going to be apparent in your life, and as the process of change occurs, as it's integrated, how you're living, how you're treating people is often a good indicator. And it can be challenging to know. In Buddhism, there's detailed steps that are laid out that follow the process of going deeper into insight and purification and deepening concentration. So, I guess what comes to me when I think of my journey is the unfolding of how my experience is in life. It's being more.
So, like, I'll just notice an increase in, like, presence / consciousness / what have you over your time, or something like that.
Yeah, so if I'm hearing you correctly, and it's still a little garbled, but there's more consciousness or presence or awareness over time. Yes, I believe that's true. So there, this happens differently for different people. Some people, there are these aha moments, flashes of insight, and that happens sometimes. Other times it's a slow and gradual change. And in fact, it can be very difficult. It's one of the things we've dealt with. It can be very difficult to recognize the change. It's one of the things we've dealt with over the years as people are going through the modern monasticism. People that they've known for years will say, "My, you've changed so much. Like you listen so much, and you're so present, and you seem to really be deeply compassionate, and the way that your presence is and you're showing up, and it's like, wait, I just feel normal. I think I'm just me." But then getting that report as people have go through the training is very common. And so the ultimate goal is behavior change your life. So that's often a good indicator if it's happening and being successfully integrated. And maybe you can find it in yourself, and finally you can see it in others. So it's very useful to have a teacher who has been through the process of, say, rigorous monastic training. They've deeply gone into their practice, and they themselves have walked the path in a very profound and serious way. That person can be very useful when they look back and see others. It's hard to put this into words, but it's almost just like you can just tell kind of how people are.
So
Yeah.
In
So
that
yeah,
case, how
having
am
a
I?
meditation is useful.
Do you repeat that, Daniel?
Yeah. Sorry,
In
Daniel.
that case, how am I?
How are you? You're great. I don't. You're wonderful. You're a wonderful, beautiful person. That's what you need to know right now, I think.
For some reason, part of me is uncharitably interpreting that as you have not progressed basically at all, but that's okay somehow.
No, that's not. That doesn't resonate with my experience. Have you?
Well, yeah, that's why I said uncharitably.
That's why you said what?
Uncharitably interpreting.
Oh, you're interpreting it?
Yes, I was saying.
Oh, you're terrible. So you have this interpretation that's like, okay. So it's like kind of like a like you're noticing that you're receiving what I'm saying and filtering it through one of your own lenses or something. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, that's good.
There's no way you could read it just the regular definition. It has to be something else, and thus trying to hear what that part of me wants to hear. I think this is what Joshin meant when he referred to the idea of control as opposed to power.
Oh, interesting. Cool.
Like trying to get the world to conform to what you basically expect it to be, rather than just experiencing what the world actually is, even if that's surprising and gives you prediction error.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That's a lifelong practice, is being with the world as it actually is. That unfolds into greater and greater depths. And so, having that framework to work within, keep going. Keep doing the practice.
Thank you. Sorry about delaying your question, Margaret.
Thank you, Daniel. It was wonderful to be with you, as
Thank you.
always. Really appreciate your presence. Okay. Hello, Margaret.
Hello. No apology necessary, Daniel. All the questions are valid and all the inquiry is helpful.
I agree wholeheartedly.
During the meditation, especially in the calling in part, twice during that time, I had these, let's say, some negative emotions kind of came up. I think one was a time when I had a sense of guilt about something I thought in the calling in. And then later on, there was a feeling of regret about something in the calling in. But both times when that emotion came up in me, this little barking warrior thing came out and chased it away.
Oh, whoa. Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's Sir Didymus. I'm going to watch that movie because that imagery really worked for me.
Oh, that's
it just had to
great.
make me laugh, but that's what happened twice. And so I thought, that's going to be really handy. And thank you. And then just briefly, if I can say this briefly, at the end of the calling in period, you said, or who is calling you?
Yes.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
And that for me turned out to be a very, I'm going to say, profound moment, because the universe called me. Like, come this way, come this way. And that actually took care of any guilt or regret that I thought I had. And but that was a very amazing part to that, and I don't remember anything that happened after that.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Wow, that sounds like quite a peak experience. Beautiful.
Yeah, just the way I like it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's so gorgeous. Thank you. Yeah. I'm savoring that. You feel the aliveness now. Feel what it's like to be alive right now, in this moment. And from this place of aliveness, if anyone's called to speak,
I'd like to share something
okay. Thank you, Pam.
very, very current. Sometimes, like right now, when I'm prompted deeply to feel the aliveness of now, I can also feel myself shut the door on it, and it feels horrible. And then all the stories come in. But then there's your voice and your image on the screen to kind of bring me back. But I really feel this tricky place of feeling the intensity of how I blocked myself from it, but also feeling the intensity of how it's always there. And the next person who comes across my path, which will probably be my husband, who irritates me, might either get a lot of love for me or a lot of criticism. It feels just like that on the tipping point there. So I think after we're done here, I'm going to take a walk. That's all I really want to say. Thank you.
Thank you for saying that and bringing that. And thank you for taking care of yourself, taking a walk. I want to express being here with you and just being here with you in your experience as it is. And sometimes that door will shut, and sometimes there's all kinds of things that are challenges. We are here, I am here, as community. Yeah. As we hold this loving aliveness, we have this connection here in this particular space and container. And we'll carry that with us, however that manifests for us. We each have the next step of our journey. If there's anything that wants to be named into this space, expressed in the last few minutes to do that. And just being in silence. It's also wonderful. Okay, Dad.
I have enjoyed the opportunity and look forward to the next.
Thank you so much. It's been a ton of fun. Looks like you've been really, really taking the practice into action. I've been seeing you moving and grooving, so really fun. Okay. All right. Well, thank you everyone so much. We'll just remain in silence for a few more minutes, and you can feel free to make your way. Thank you. Bless you. Love you. It's wonderful to be here as part of a community together. We'll be back next Saturday. Joshin will return. Things continue here at Oak. We feel very held and blessed to be connected to the community, all of you, to know you're out there, and we're connected in this way, and we're all connected to everybody. And we're all on team everybody. Go team everybody. It's the best team to be on. So thank you all. May you benefit and blessed from loving aliveness. See you next time.
Bye, everyone.
And just sit in silence.
Take care. Bye.